it is going to be more of a challenge for you to get your apartment sold. Try to get your deal done. Don't hang around in July and August. It's likely to be quite slow. Welcome to this week's look at the state of the New York City real estate market, where I take a look at the luxury market, the Manhattan market, and the Brooklyn market. I do it because I want you to be informed. It never hurts when you're a consumer to be informed. Welcome to this week's look at the state of the New York City real estate market. This report is for the week of June 12th to the 18th. We're going to get started, as we always do, with the luxury market. Then we're going to move to the Manhattan market and then the Brooklyn market. Then I'm going to sum it all up for you, give you my thoughts and takeaways. As always, if you have any questions at all, please post those below. Okay. There were 31 contracts signed last week in the luxury market. That's for properties that were priced at $4 million and above. That is actually the same as it was the week before. Condos outsold co-ops 19 to 10, and there were 2 townhouses that were also in that mix. The number one contract was number 8401 at 35 Hudson Yards. It was asking just under $14 million, and it was reduced from, get ready, $27.25 million when it was listed in 2019. Wow, that is a huge reduction. This is a sponsor unit, and it has a little over 4,600 square feet. It includes 5 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms. This is a condo, of course. It features almost 11-foot ceilings. It has stunning views of the Hudson River, bridges, and the city. Amenities include a doorman, fitness center, yoga studio, golf simulator, screening room, dining room, and a residence lounge with a terrace. The number 2 contract was a townhouse, a 5-story brownstone at 141 East 18th Street. It was asking just under $12 million. It was listed at the beginning of May. The 14.75 foot wide house was purchased for just under $6 million in 2015. It was renovated by the architect Stephen Harris. It has almost 3,200 square feet of living space, including a ground floor 1-bedroom unit and 3 bedrooms on the floors above it. The house does not have an elevator. Annual real estate taxes are $43,050. Okay, now we're going to take a look at those quick stats for the luxury market. The total weekly asking price sales volume, 207,915,000. Average asking price, 6,706,935. Median asking price, 5,750,000. Average discount from original ask to last asking price, 9%. Average days on market, 586. Okay, that is it for the luxury market report for last week. Now we're going to switch over and take a look at what happened in Manhattan. We're going to get started at that 1-week look. In Manhattan, the supply for last week was 276. That is down a bit, almost 21%. Contracts signed down also, almost 14%, 205. Off-market properties, 196. That is up a bit, a little over 11%. For the month, we saw the supply also down almost 31%, 1,384 contracts down 5%, 1,025 for the month. Off-market properties up 50%, little over 50%, 715. So we're starting to see some signs of change as we move closer to the heart of the summer. If we take a look at this market pulse, we see that we are continuing in this kind of neutral market. The supply and the demand are both a bit suppressed in this last week and over this last month. So they're kind of holding steady. This is a balanced, neutral market. This is what we have been seeing. However, we're not seeing a lot of new inventory and we're not seeing a lot of new contract activity. So this could be signaling a bit of a shift and a change in the market. If we look at this liquidity pace chart For the last 30 days, this moving window, we see that that too has dropped a bit. This is the latest reading as of this particular moment, but this is always changing. It's likely going to drop further. Still, 1,025. Previous weeks, it was up over 1,100. Again, not totally surprising as we get further into June. If we take a look at the supply overall for Manhattan, the inventory ticks down another little bit. Again, as I said, as summer begins to roll and the pending sales slid 1% as the overall demand appears to be kind of topping off. And the new listings dropped nearly 18%. This is in line with historical trends. Nothing to get too excited about. We're used to seeing this. The weekly contract volume dropped 19% from last week. Again, this active season is beginning to wind down. This is a new chart that has just come out comparing the demand for renovated versus unrenovated apartments. We saw this sort of shift in appetite for renovated apartments versus unrenovated apartments begin kind of right around COVID, right post-COVID. When people to come in and do their work, we were having trouble with supply, getting parts, getting materials. Perhaps this is still a bit of the mindset. If you take a look at this chart, you will see that the spread between renovated and unrenovated units has risen to its highest level in nearly a decade. So if you have an unrenovated unit, a unit that buyers might perceive as being less than turnkey, and you're struggling to get that sold, this is likely the reason why it is going to be more of a challenge for you to get your apartment sold in this market. The buyers are seeming to prefer those turnkey units. They do have some concerns about taking on something that might need work because they were a little worried about getting that work done, what it's going to take to get that work done. So eventually all things sell, but this is what we're seeing. So if you've been wondering about that, you're a seller, perhaps this will give you some answers as to why that might be happening. All right, that's it for the Manhattan report. As always, any questions, please post those below. We're going to move on now to Brooklyn, and then I'm going to wrap it all up for you and give you my thoughts and takeaways. So the story with Brooklyn is not unlike the story with Manhattan. If we look at this kind of micro look, the 1 week look at supply, we see a little bit of a bump. 186 properties came on the market. That's up just about almost 2%. Contract sign also up about 3%, 150. Off market up a little over 10%, 75. If we take the stand back and we take a look at the 1 month look, though, we see that the supply, 809, has dropped a little over 23%. And we also see that the contract sign has dropped about 16%, 639. And the off market properties has jumped a bit, almost 37%, 283. If we look at that market pulse, as with Manhattan, we are seeing a neutral and balanced, kind of healthy market so far. However, as with Manhattan, we are seeing signs of change as we move closer to the heart of the summer. If we look at this liquidity pace, this 30-day moving window, we see that this market is kind of holding steady in this neutral way. And if we take a look at the supply for Brooklyn, it remains virtually unchanged from last week. The demand is ticking down a little bit as the market enters the slower summer season. And the weekly new listings did tick up a bit, but they are also, as with Manhattan, staying within the historical trend. The number of contracts in Brooklyn ticked down 3% last week, quieting down a little bit. Again, now we're going to take a look at what happened in Brooklyn when we compare the renovated versus the unrenovated apartments. And similar to Manhattan, the spread between the renovated and the unrenovated apartments has risen to its highest level in nearly a decade. Okay, that is it for last week for Brooklyn. So here are some thoughts about last week. Certainly in the luxury market, we see that holding steady, 31 contracts signed, just as the week before for properties that are priced at $4 million and above. Condos, once again, outperforming co-ops. There were two townhouses in there. The number two contract, in fact, was a townhouse. There's really nothing surprising about what's happening in the luxury market from the week before to this week. The luxury market seems to be holding steady. When it comes to the Manhattan and the Brooklyn markets, we continue to see very balanced, neutral markets. We are seeing signs of change. We are seeing less inventory coming on the market. We are seeing slightly fewer contracts being signed. However, those things are kind of keeping pace with each other. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this. Very likely, we're not going to see a lot of new inventory coming on the market. Very likely, we're not going to be seeing a whole lot of new buyers coming into the market. So here are my takeaways. Sellers, this is still a good market. Again, if you are not getting the showings or the offers that you want and you still want to sell in this market, try to get your deal done this month. Try to get your deal done in June. It's most likely your price. If you've been sitting there for a while at a certain price and you're not getting showings or offers, it's almost always your price. So adjust your price, sell into market strength, and try to get your deal done. Don't hang around in July and August. It's likely to be quite slow. Buyers, you're not likely to see a lot of new inventory coming on the market. So if you see something you like, make your move on it. There are some deals to be had. Usually those are properties that have been sitting on the market for a while. You'll probably see more flexibility in those prices, and you may be able to strike a better deal with those sellers. Or you can wait and see what's still around in the later part of the summer. Okay. That is it for this week's look at the state of the New York City real estate market. As always, my thanks to the Olshan Luxury Market Report and Urban Digs for their amazing reporting. The work that they do helps me to help you to make great decisions. I will be back next week with the very latest news on what is happening in the New York City real estate market. In the meantime, take care.